Hey guys, OGalbina here, bringing you guys our CGT Week 3 battle against Shuckle King and his OK Rilla Boomers. If you guys are excited for today's Wi-Fi battle, be sure to drop a like and a sub to the channel. I'd really appreciate if you help us out along our goal to 2,000. And definitely go check out Shuckle King in the description below. I probably say this in the battle too, but I personally, when I think of Wi-Fi players, I think he's probably the best in the game right now. In my opinion, so we definitely have our work cut out for us, but we need to win this week. we very much so need to win, and yeah, we got to get on the winning side of things. We're 0-2 currently, but I think we have the squad to do it. I put a lot of preparation into this week, took a lot of mocks, did a lot of team building, did a million revisions to this team. I even completely gutted it at one point, but I think we have a pretty good squad to potentially be able to take him down. So that being said, we're gonna do a quick team build just so you can see what we're bringing and why we're bringing it. I have a timestamp on the screen and in the description below if you do want to skip ahead to the battle. And yeah, with that being said, let's jump into it. So, our team, if you did forget, consists of Mew. It's at the top of the screen, by the way. But it consists of Mew, Dragonite, Thundee, Toxapex, BLACEPHALON, Crocodile, Klefki, Lucario, Audino, Appleton, and Shuckle, while our opponent's team is at the bottom of the screen, and it consists of Victini, Clefable, Rotom Wash, Spectrair, Nidoking, Mandibuzz, Cobalion, I said Zygarde, but then I was also trying to say Zydog, Regirock, Braviary, and Ferroseed. Now, biggest threats to me in particular, one is Victini. I don't have very good counterplay to Victini in general. Dual stabs plus its coverage kind of just absolutely rails my team. It's incredibly hard for me to switch into, and it can be a really big threat to me. So I'm expecting potentially like a Scarf set, a Band set, something like that. Maybe even like a Specs or a Boot Special 4-attack set. A lot of things can do a lot of work versus me, so there's a lot of scary things going on there. Clef is always annoying as usual. Rotom Wash is also a really annoying Pokemon for me to kill. My team doesn't appreciate it very much. The biggest threats though outside of Victini are going to be one, Spectrair, which is weird considering I have a Crocodile and Audino, but I think like T-Spikes plus Spectrair can be very scary for me, especially because I'm not bringing Toxapex this week. It scarred me last week, so we just can't bring it again this week. So we're not bringing Pex this week, which means that T-Spikes going up are almost there to stay. You see we have Defog on our first moment, but we'll get into that. So, T-Spikes with Spectre can be very scary, and the T-Spike setter and Nidoking I do not have switch-ins for whatsoever. Nobody has Nidoking switch-ins, but especially me, and especially this team that I ended up building this week. And then Zygarde, 10% is a menace. Look at my ground resist, it's Appleton, unfortunately, and Appleton is a Dragon type, who is weak to Dragon. So it's kind of like a similar problem that we faced last week with Garchomp, except we're not going a very defensive Mew. And I don't expect it to be like a setup Zygarde or anything like that. I expect it to just be Banned if it comes, because Banned just 2-hit KOs my whole team. Or 2-hit KOs or Okos, so we gotta be very careful about how we approach this matchup. First up though, we do have Thundurus, who is going to be our guaranteed lead this game. We have Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Psychic, and Defog. 20 HP, max special attack, and 236 speed with Timid Nature, which is allowing us to just outspeed something like a Cobalion. This thing is, one, very good offensively. I think Volts are pretty free in this matchup, especially being that Nidoking, one, doesn't want to switch in and take a hit like a Psychic from me, and two, if it switches in, I'm just going to stay in Psychic, get to get off some good damage, most likely, or I can at least pivot around a very telegraphed Ice Beam or Sludge Wave. I guess it's not super telegraphic, it could be 2 moves, but regardless, this Pokemon's going to be a great lead, and I'll kind of set out our lead sequence when we have our second Mon show up a little bit later in the team build that kind of, plays into how we want to use this. But it also gives me Defog, which I think is really important. If even like a weird Spike stacking Ferroseed comes, or the Rockers and Cobalion and Regirock and Clefable, I want to set up Rocks, T-Spikes especially. Again, I think it's really important to get rid of those so that my Audino could heal bell everything and nothing's poisoned anymore. But again, we'll talk about that stuff later. Otherwise, it's just a really strong offensive pivot, and Volt's pretty darn free in this game, so pretty solid Mon here. Next up, I guess this is it right here. We have our Appleton rocking out with the eject button. Thick Fat is its ability. Apple Acid, Dragon Pulse, Recover, and Leech Seed. 172 HP, 148 Defense, and 188 Spadef with a Calm Nature. This thing, one, it's going to be our Victini check. Actually, Glaciate does literally nothing to me unless it's like Life Orb or Specs or something like that, and then at that point I can pivot around accordingly. But Blue Flares and V-Creates, I think V-Create needs to be banded to 2-hit KO me, and that's really one of the only ways it can 2-hit KO me. It's just because V-Create strong and we're more Spadef on this set. But yeah, it's going to be a great check into the Victini. But and also the Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash comes, we just absolutely stuff it, which the rest of my team actually does not like Rotom Wash's dual stabs. But this thing is a eject button. You can see that, obviously. Now, I said earlier that our lead is always going to be Thundurus. And the way I kind of envision this early game going out is that I think Rotom is a very free lead into me. Because, one, I do have a Crocodile on my team, but Volt Switch is incredibly free because I can't really switch in and take a Willow or a Hydro on my Crook. Because then I just even more so lose to Spectre. Plus, Scarf Crook is very good in this matchup, in my opinion, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So I think he's very free Volt Switches because he'll recognize that I can't really go hard Crook that early in the game, because, I mean, even if I do as well, when I'm going to knock it off just to get rocked by Hydro or a Will-O-Wisp the next turn, it's just not a very advantageous position for me. So, my lead plan is to always lead Thundurus, get a clean Volt Switch out, go into my Appleton, which can absorb that Volt Switch, eject button out. And the way eject button works is no matter what, it switches you out and then your opponent stays in. Even if they clicked a momentum move, if they made contact and knocked you out with your eject button, they stay in. So if he Volt Switches me, does 3 HP, I immediately get momentum back in my favor. I can go back into my Thundurus if Volt Switch into Thunderbolt 2 at Chaos, depending on the spread. I can more than likely, though, go into my BLACEPHALON, which we can skip ahead to really quick, because I think this stuff's all important. We can skip ahead to my BLACEPHALON, which can then come in with its choice specs, and Rotom, it's going to be chipped. It's also going to be Fizz Def, most likely in this matchup with a Dragonite and a Crocodile, and things like that. It can come in, it'll see that it's in range of Shadow Ball, and no shot. And again, this is 100% a Soul Read, but it's something I feel very comfortable with making, especially with all the sequences and all the mocks I ran. All of them ran similar, where I can come in with my BLACEPHALON, click Specs Overheat, and do about 75% to that Mandibuzz coming in. And then from there, I can either Overheat again and knock it out, or try and make a double into either Thundy, Croak, something like that to give me a little bit more advantageous offensive positioning from there. So that's how I'm envisioning the early game to pan out. If I can get these things in, I should be in a good position. Now, it's also not contingent and guaranteed like I need Rotom to lead. If Rotom doesn't lead, that's fine. If something like Victini leads, I know I don't live a Scarf like V-Create or anything like that, so I would probably just hard out into my Appleton. Same thing, if the Victini tries to U-turn, it'll, what do you call it? Do about 30% to my Appleton or something like that, depending on its spread. And it'll set me out. I'll go into BLACEPHALON, and then, again, I feel very comfortable overheating on that Victini immediately, because I don't think he has, like, I don't think he can make that read early game. Then I'm going to click a fire move and risk his Victini, because it's so darn good versus me. I think that'd be absolutely insane. Especially if he even, like, V-creates the first turn, because then it'll be at -1 Speed Def. And even if he's, like, some weird fatter Victini, he's not living a Shadow Ball at that point. He also does not know my spread at that point. He doesn't know if I'm Scarf, Specs, Life Orb, some weird Calm Mind variant, some Will-O-Wisp variant. Like, he doesn't know what my BLACEPHALON is at that point. So I think I feel very comfortable clicking that Overheat prediction turn 1, no matter what is really in on me. Because other than, what, the Victini and Rotom Wash, which both get rocked by a Spec Shadow Ball, which will just go ahead to our guy over here, our BLACEPHALON, nothing switches into fire moves. Like, Overheat and Flamethrower are just nukes on this team, and Overheat really puts me in a good position if I can hit that on the Mandibuzz early, because that means once the Mandibuzz is gone, if you look at his team, what the hell is this Shadow Ball switching? So we just need to force that early chip on that Mandibuzz, and then from there, we just click Shadow Ball the rest of the game. This is BLACEPHALON in general, though. Like I said, Flamethrower, Overheat, Trick, Shadow Ball. Trick is to stop, like, weird Clef stats from getting, like, super out of hand. And I really didn't need another move other than Flamethrower, Overheat, Shadow Ball. I didn't. So I figured worst case scenario, we might have to trick Clef with Specs, but obviously we don't want to give it, like, Calm Mind boosted Specs Moonblast, because that also kind of rips the team that I have. But I also don't really expect a Calm Mind Clef in a matchup into, like, Klefki, Toxapex, BLACEPHALON, things like that. I think it's more likely to be a Rock and Clef this week, with, like, knockoff and things like that. But even the Thunder Wave, so yeah, BLACEPHALON goes absolutely crazy this game. We just have to position it offensively and get it in correctly. Alright, fourth up, we have obligatory max Speed Def odd note. It is Wish, Encore, Knockoff, Heal Bell, Encore to Encore the Spectre into Sub, and a Naspon to Calm Mind, into Will-O-Wisp, whatever it might be to get advantageous positioning. Knockoff to obviously hit the Spectre, but also hit other things and get rid of their items, whether it be Victini, Clefable, you know, other things like that. Encore is great for, like, a Calm Mind Clef if it ends up coming another way of potentially stopping that. This is going to be our best pivot into Nidoking. I did play a Focus Punch Nidoking in a mock, and that was a big issue, but if it's not Focus Punch or Superpower, we can, you know, somewhat deal with it. And, yeah, it's just a good overall piece here in this matchup. Then lastly, or not lastly, next up we have a really interesting Mew set that I think puts on a lot of offensive pressure. In Expert Belt 3 attacks, we are Hydro Pump, Sludge Wave, Ice Beam, and Roost. Max special attack, max speed with Timid Nature. I think this thing does really well. If we look at our coverage against the team, Hydro Pump for something like Victini, Sludge Wave for Clefable. Rotom is really the only Pokemon that we don't hit super hard. Spectre I don't expect to be a pivot, but something like a Hydro Pump actually is not going to tickle. Hydro Pump and Ice Beam for the Nidoking, Ice Beam for the Mandy, Hydro Pump for the Cobalion, Ice Beam for the Zygarde, Hydro Pump for the Regirock, and Ice Beam for the Braviary. I don't expect Pharaoh Seed. I originally was just 4 attacks with Flamethrower. And it also, which also hits Cobalion, obviously, but I really, really do not expect the Pharaoh Seed to come. And I wanted Roost because there were some advantageous positions with Roost. But yeah, this thing actually can almost 2-hit KO their entire team. And I would love to have a position in which I'm in against a Nidoking and they expect a Psychic or an Ice Beam or something like that, and I drop a big Hydro and do a clean 70% to Victini or something like that. We're obviously speed tying it. If he goes any less, we will outspeed it, which is great. And yeah, I think this Pokemon overall does really well. Sludge Wave with an extra belt, especially like Fish Def Clef, does like 70%. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but it does a lot of damage for sure. So I think Mew's pretty cool. And then we have our Choice Scarf Croak. We're knockoff Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Toxic. Pretty darn offensive, but it's something to outspeed Spectre. And again, if we get rid of Rotom, he does not, and we get that chip that I'm expecting to get on Mandibuzz, this thing does really, really well in this game. Scarf is a great revenge option for non-Scarfatini. Spectre, Nidoking, Cobalion. It's a great pivot into Zygarde. We are Intimidate, and it's like my only thing to not get 2-hit KO by one of its stabs. Now, Outrage will 2-hit KO me if it's banded. However, if it's banded into Outrage, as long as you have any prior chip, Earthquake will knock it out, and if not, we can always just throw off a massive Earthquake and do a lot of damage to it that way and put it in range of something else in the back. So, Crocodile is very important in this game, and pivoting to Zygarde and revenge killing a lot of different scary threats. But yeah, that's going to be the team. Oh, and big shouts to everybody who mocked me this week. Who mocked me? I know Bick mocked me because he used the aforementioned Focus Punch Nidoking, which kind of destroyed me. I think Jason mocked me. I know John mocked me. Thank you, John. I think Spider mocked me as well. Thank you to Spider. Who else? I think Blazeman mocked me, and I'm so sorry if I forget anybody else. If you're in my front office and you mocked me and I don't see it, then please let me know. My bad. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sitting through the team builder. Right back with the battle. Alrighty, guys, we are connected with Mr. Shuckle King. Let's see what he ended up bringing to the match. Oh, I'm nervous. I think we have a pretty solid game plan this week. Pretty solid team. We'll see what we could do. Let's see. I don't know if he's doing his intro right now. That would suck because I don't like to edit. And that would mean oh yes. Okay, cool. Oh no, he brought the Victini. That's crazy. And he did bring the Zygarde. There it is. I was really hoping that since my face was covering it, that there was no Zygarde, but there is indeed a Zygarde. We have a Nidoking. We see no Rotom, which is incredible for a Scarf Crocodile endgame if I can bait in that Mandibuzz the way I think I can. Zygarde, Nidoking, Victini, Cobalion, Spectrier, Mandibuzz. Okay, so we're still going to go with our main lead and going to be Thundy. Thundy's going to be paramount in guaranteeing a defog off in case T-spikes into Spectrier is kind of his game plan, which is something I was really scared of. I didn't see in a lot of mocks, but something I really think that he could end up going for. So T-spikes into Spectrier could be really scary. I'm glad we have defog Thundy. But the plan is to break up with something like BLACEPHALON and Mew, and then win with something like Crocodile, or even just our Thundy kind of outspeeding everything in the end game. But we'll see how it ends up going. I think we have the squad to do it. Our Mew looks phenomenal, actually. Our Expert Belt No Stab Mew looks really nasty, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, good luck, have fun to Mr. Shuckle King. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, let's go from there. Okay. What are we going to see a lead with? Is it going to be... Victini. Okay. So, our play into Victini. I don't believe we live Scarf V Create. We do not live Scarf V Create. So, what I am going to do is we're going to pivot into our eject button Appleton, who actually has a lot less use now that Rotom isn't here. So I'm completely fine with making this play. We just need to be out of range of 2 arrows, which even after a Band of V-Create, we will do. So I am going to make this pivot right here. We are going to switch out first, so if he hards out, then we know that he's not Scarf, which is also good information to know. We're going to see Blue Flare. We're going to get burned. Great. And then we're going to eject button out. We're going to get into our BLACEPHALON here. We see that it is Special Teeny, which is something that also really surprises me. And we're going to get into BLACEPHALON, and I'm going to overheat. Yeah. So he is special. And we're going to overheat here. I think there's no shot you ever stay in here. You have to go BLACEPHALON, right? I mean, you have to go Mandibuzz here. I think that's, like, always the play. Maybe I'm super overplaying if he's, like, lead Cassib, but I also don't expect that to be the case. Yep, he's gonna withdraw. Give me a Mandibuzz. I want some damage. Nally, is that Mandy? Is. Give me some Damahe. Perfect, we hit. It's gonna do a shit ton of damage. It sure does. Perfect. Now we're gonna make the pretty aggressive. Are we gonna make the Thundy pivot? Or are we gonna make the Mew? Because part of me really expects, what do you call it to come out? Mandibuzz, right? Mandibuzz, Zygarde. Yeah, I think I'm going to actually make a Mew mid-ground. That also looks to be more Fizz-Def. Yeah, that looks to be at least not Max Spadef, which is good to know. So we are going to double out. I think you're going to grab offensive momentum and try and boost up on my odd. No. I did not think that was going to happen. Okay, well, I'm going to spam Ice Beam. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen. Miss? Okay, we can still heal Bell that off. So I'm not super worried about that. We're going to synchronize him. And then from here, I think I'm just going to Hydro Pump. Shadow Ball has become incredibly free, which is good. I mean, but I also just don't think you're going to save this. Yeah, I'm just going to Ice Beam again. No reason to risk the Misk. I mean, you weren't willing to save it before. So. Yeah, okay, good. So we knock out the Mandibuzz pretty early, which is good to know. Okay. So we're going to get poisoned. Now what comes out? Spectre? Without T-Spike up, I'm not super worried about that. Something like Nidoking can come out, but I'm just going to Hydro Pump it. Nidoking, let's see how much we do to Nidoking. We kill with extra Hydro Pump. Now, would offensive Psychic kill him? Is that something he's worried about? Maybe he's like a... So, Extra Psychic would. What about non-Extra? Vicente. Okay. Let's see. Blue Flare. Timid. 252. Well, 50. Hey, you don't kill me. I'm going for the pump. Show me the pumpy. We are going to outspeed. We are going to hit. Perfect. Give me a crit. I want a crit. I'm soul reading it. Weakness policy. Shit. Okay, I'm dead here. But I know he's not +1. So, Since he didn't flame charge, I think we're okay. I mean, we always go BLACEPHALON, right? Yeah, we always go BLACEPHALON, and we just click Shadow Ball. That wasn't like some weird speed boosting item, was it? That I just don't know about? No, he does not have any speed boost. We're just gonna Shadow Ball. This is Spec Shadow Ball. If he wants to save this, something's dying. He does not have anything on his team that takes a Spec Shadow Ball now that Mandibus is dead. So he has to give me a Pokemon. Nidoking. I'm glad we got that off. That was good. Kind of wish we lost a speed tie there and then won the second one. That would have been cool. But yeah, I want to see Nidoking versus Blaze. He is just going to stay in Zactus. Perfect. Nidoking had a 50% chance to die from full. Cool, so we're going to get a boost. And now I think we're either going to... We either see Zygarde or Spectrier, guaranteed. He should know we're Specs, too. Like, he should know we're Specs. Yet if you Flame Charge there, I think I might have just, like, lost. I did not expect Weakness Policy Special Teeny. I really did not. So we'll see. We will see. Harris comes out. What is this? Ziggy, Ziggy, Ziggy. So we're going to make... I think we're going to make the Appleton sack. That seems like it's the best play, doesn't it? Outrage. That's fine. Okay, so Appleton's going to go down. But that also means that we get to go Crook. And just knock, right? Or we could just EQ, actually. EQ is so free. I mean, but I gotta make sure... If his Zygarde's Choice Scarf... Doesn't 2-hit KO my Crook after an Intem, yeah? I know I'm taking a lot of time to calc, but I feel like these things are all important to know before I click my button. No, so the only way he 2-hit KOs me if he's banned, and if he's banned, I 2-hit KO with Earthquake. And he just doesn't switch into Earthquake. So we're faster, so that's good to know. The reason I did this is so I don't take, like, Shadow Ball, or like, Outrage into E-Speed. Cool, so we get rid of another huge threat to our team. Another huge threat to our team. So Scarf Crook. Now, if I was Moxie, I think I, like, Raw could have won, but I'm not. So that's unfortunate. I also might have just died to that Outrage, though. Okay. Hold on. This guy's gonna come out. I personally think I can afford to go hard BLACEPHALON. I don't think you're in a position where you can play around me clicking anything else. Now, another question is, does this thing kill me with Stone Edge? That's the next big question. I obviously have to keep this, so he could play off of me needing this and, like, set up. That could be scary. Cobalion. That's like a Stone Edge from an offensive Cobalion. It does kill me. If he's defensive and he has Stone Edge, you need a max roll. So it really depends on his spread. But I still feel like this is my best play. Is he going to make the edge play? I feel like it's a play I could see. Yes. Okay, cool. Now he has to hit an edge and he has to be offensive to kill me. I'm just going to Flamethrower. He has to be faster. Max speed. Or a flamethrower. This kills Nidoking. I don't know how much it does to Spectrier. It's gonna withdraw. Skyhorse is Spectrier. Oh, he burned! Oh, that's huge. Wait, that's huge. Do we win now? I think I always go odd no now. And I always encore into the, what do you call it, slot. Now, if this is rest, that's really unfortunate. We didn't see leftovers. Oh, he missed. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Now from here, he has to go Cobalt. Whatever comes in, I just click Encore. And I think I'm in a pretty good position to win this game. Hey, that's me. OGalbina. That's not my name. We're gonna Encore. I'm gonna look how much... Now from here, I think I always go Thundy, yeah? Thundy seems very free. Or Boots, we 2-hit KO with Thunderbolt. So he can't, like, set up. Thunderbolt. Stone Edge is gonna hit. Scarf. Okay, I'm just gonna defog, get a free switch. Yeah, I'm just gonna defog. This covers him doubling as well. Now that I know he's Scarf, this covers him doubling. If he stays in, I go Crook, I just EQ. Yeah, I think this is a win now. Because we live that Stone Edge. I think this is a win now. I'm pretty sure this is a win. I think he's thinking about making the double, but I don't need to play around that. Like I don't need to play around it. He's really thinking about this play. Yeah, because I defog. Yeah, and if he stays in, then I just attack with Crook. He's Scarf. So we go down. Now we go Crook though. We just click EQ. Even Stone Edge crit will not kill my Crook from the range of health it is at. We just click EQ. We won't die to Sucker Punch from Nidoking. We're faster than a random Scarf Nidoking. This should be a dub. He's going to withdraw. Give me the Oko on Nidoking. Yes, that's a win. That's a win. I know he's Scarf. Is there anything he can lock to Oko all of my Pokemon? Category, physical. Can't do any... Well, ground. Does it get any ground type moves? It does not. Okay, I'm just gonna click EQ then. And we should be fine to win with BLACEPHALON. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Because there's no other way he outspeeds us. There's no, he is choice scarfed. There's no other way he outspeeds us. So I'm not overthinking this. I'm so scared that I like missed something and I just sacked my endgame or something, but we're choice scarfed. We are just going to flamethrower. He is locked into close combat, so that is what he'll click right now. Thank you. Woo! We got to win in CGT. Thank God. Okay, we're 1-2. The comeback starts now. I'm glad we took off Shuckle too. Shuckle, in my opinion, is the best player in the format on Wi-Fi. So this is a real big confidence booster for your boy. I feel a lot better about our season upcoming. I'm really happy with how we played that game. I think we saw endgame very well. I think we had some great sequences there, and I'm really proud of that game. So it's good to get back on the winning side of things. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like. If you're new here, drop a sub, and go check out Shuckle. Like I said, I think he's a phenomenal player. I think you'll really enjoy his content. I know I do. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.